Welcome to the Rocket Business Show with your hosts,
Mark
and Maggie, that's me. I'm super excited to have launched our podcast finally. We have done a few pilot episodes which won't air unless you ask us very nicely for those. It might be quite fun to see. So today we are talking about naming your business. Topics we're covering will include the power of a good business name, how to generate business name ideas, what things you need to consider when naming your business, and also how to register a business name.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Should we get cracking?
Let's get into it.
Let's get rocking and rolling.
Let's get rocking and rolling. So we are super excited to be finally launching our podcast. It's been years in the making, and we're going to be talking about something super important, and that's naming your business. Loads of things to take into consideration when you're naming your business. The power of a good business name, how to generate business names ideas, what sort of things you need to consider when naming a business, as well as registering your business names. They're all topics we're going to cover today.
How exciting.
In our chat. Yeah, it's very exciting. So yeah, anybody that is launching a business, it's super exciting time. And I think a big stumbling block for some people can literally be, what should I call myself?
Yeah.
What do I call my business?
Mm-hmm.
And we see a lot of good names. We see a lot of very bad names, unfortunately.
A lot of rude names.
Yeah, some rude names.
Funny names.
Names.
Some really clever names.
Yeah, very clever.
Can't think of any particular ones off the top of my head, but I'm sure we will.
But we do know what a minefield it can be with naming your business, and one of the hardest things to do in starting a business. So we know that it has to be right, it has to be personal to you, it has to stand out. We've been through it ourselves, not only with clients of ours through Frank Man, but also with our own business. This business, so Rock at Business, went through
a whole lot of names.
A heck of a process to be called Rocket Business, which we'll chat about towards the end of the show.
Oh, that's good. I was just trying to find a list of names that we did have.
Yeah, no, don't cover that just yet.
It's probably over 100, wasn't it?
At least, if not 300, I would
There's
say.
some classics in there as well. So
there were some great names in there. Yeah, so
that'd be fun.
Yeah, keep listening for that, because we will talk about that towards the end of the podcast. But for now, let's get into how to name your business. So what would you say makes a good business name, in your opinion?
I'm glad you asked, Maggie.
Yes, I did, because it's written down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking.
Clever.
Yeah.
What makes a good business name?
What makes a good business name?
Well, it needs to be memorable.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah. It needs to be unique, I think, is a good thing to have. So if you're serving burgers, don't call yourself McDonald's, because somebody's already thought of that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or some running shoes. Nike. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. If your name's Nick and you wanted to make some running shoes.
Yeah, Nick shoes.
Nick shoes.
Actually, do you say Nike or Nick? Do you say
Nike or Nike?
Nike.
I don't know. I don't really know.
No?
No.
I mean,
now you've questioned me. I don't know. So
yeah. What about Porsche or Porsche?
Porsche. It would be a Porsche.
Oh, the ones I hear on the TV nowadays, which does worm me up a little bit. Hyundai?
Hyundai.
Yeah, Hyundai.
It's always Hyundai.
And Skoda.
Yeah,
Skoda. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to be a bit of a trend at the moment. Not renaming your name, but repronouncing your name. But slightly off topic.
Yeah,
typical
but that's okay. That's all the things that we need to consider. Is if your name is a little bit out there, are people going to know how to pronounce it?
Yeah.
If they can't pronounce it, can they spell it? Therefore, can they put you into a search engine and Google you? Those are all things that need considering. But yeah, also need to consider the length of your business name. So I was actually networking this morning with a lady. She had a really long business card. And
twice as long.
No, it was just
the
really
domain
long.
name on.
And and that was pretty much it. She had I think, I don't want to name anybody, but if her first name was super long name, at really long business name and a little bit extra.co.uk.
Yeah.
And she needed to have made a special
Tiny
business
text.
card made so that she could fit her entire thing. Would have been. But those are things to consider. So if you do have a really long first name and surname, and your email address is going to be featured on your business card as well as your company name, it can
cause some problems.
Can cause some
especially for
problems.
a designer who's trying to fit it onto a business card.
Yeah,
that's for
as well as some poor soul trying to type it into a search engine and a search for it. Or even voice searching nowadays, where you need to think, what was the name of that big long company where I got bathroom brochure from, and it's not just B&Q. It was Joe Bloggs' Plumbing and Bathroom Supplies.
Heating services. And,
yeah. Apologies, Joe. I'm not naming your business out there and shaming you.
The descriptive element
Yeah.
of a domain name. So, a business name.
A business name, yeah.
So, if your business is quite specific, do you want a name that exactly tells others what your business does?
Yeah.
Which is fine if you're forever going to be making or producing that particular service. But if things change, and things do change as time goes on, what you don't want to be is stuck with a business name that's totally out of date.
Just explain a little bit more what you're getting.
Am I confusing you?
No, not confusing me. But
I'm confusing myself.
You might be confusing us.
So for example, if you made mugs,
Yes.
and your name is Mary, and you want to make Mary's Mugs as your business name.
Yes. It's nice, it's short, it's memorable.
It is nice and short and memorable. Downside is, in a few years' time, when people might not need to drink from mugs anymore.
Yeah, when AI takes over.
When AI takes over and we no longer need to move our bodies and we're just fed by a drip, then mugs might not actually be much use for Mary and her business. So she may turn in the idea of making mugs and convert herself to making straws.
Straws, yeah.
So Mary's Mugs as a business might have to change to Mary's Straws.
Yeah.
And that can cause a whole load of problems.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an extreme example.
It is quite an extreme example, but it is.
But it's the only one I can think of under pressure.
That's right. No, it's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good things to think about, because it's sort of future-proofing your business a little bit as well. Because if you're, like you say, you are thinking in years to come, you want to expand. Maybe Mary wants to do T-shirts as well as and hoodies and things. So maybe it should be called Mary's Merchandise.
There you go. There's something to think about.
Yeah. So Mary's Merchandise, and if there is anybody listening called Mary and you run a merchandising store, then you can just give your business a little free shout out. Yeah. So what's the difference between a good name and a forgettable name, do you think?
Well, a good name is exactly what it is. It's a good name, and an unforgettable name is
a forgettable name. I've forgotten what a forgettable name would be.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We've answered that one.
I think that's quite, keeping things memorable.
You need to obviously remember it yourself, and but also you want others to remember it anyway.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're out at a networking event, maybe, and someone gives you their business name, ideally, it'd be nice if you could remember it.
Yeah. If you're meeting a lot of people at a networking event, you can be thinking, oh, who was that person I spoke to? And you can think of what their business idea was and what product they offered or what service they offered, perhaps. For the life of you, can you remember their name? Yeah. And if they haven't given you a business card, which they also should be doing. Yeah. And or a leaflet, then it might be a tricky one. But if you can remember their name, then
you're halfway there.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
So keep it memorable.
Yeah.
And also, I think a good tip is to practice when you're settled on a name, is practice saying it out loud and just making sure it's easy to say, as well as answering the phone.
Actually, answering the phone is definitely a good one, because you don't want to call yourself something like
your name might be Tony like Schitt.
Snooze. Hello, Snooze.
Snooze.
Snizzle, how can I help you?
I don't think that's going to come up.
Snizzle. Oh, there you go. There's an example. If if it's a really random name, like that sounds stupid. Snizzle. I can't even say it. Schnitzel. Snuzzen.
How many of those people have you met?
No.
Called
absolutely none. Oh, right, let's think.
Snizzle.
No, I think of something. Okay, so let's come up with just a quick example. Matt.
Matt?
A mechanic. Okay.
Mechanic, yes.
A manic mechanic. Good morning, manic mechanic here.
Good morning, manic mechanic.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
Most mechanics are manic, so don't make it a tongue twister, I think is what we're saying, isn't it? So keep it, yeah.
I'm just thinking there's something that doesn't sound like you're being rude. Like, oi oi banners or something like that. So, morning.
Oi oi banners.
Oi oi banners. That's actually might be quite
That's
good.
quite a good one, yeah. Write that down. There's a side hustle there.
Jeez. This is a bad example.
No, I can't think of an example, but
No.
there could be one.
Guaranteed after this we will. If you think of a name, think of all the times and opportunities it's going to be said, either by yourself, over the phone, or even by others.
Yeah. What about if you wanted your business name to just be your name? So my name's quite common. Like my surname is Taylor, and that's quite a common surname. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to start a consultancy business and I wanted to call it Taylor's Consultancy or something like that, that doesn't really say what I do other than consultancy. Would that be a good name, do you think?
There's nothing wrong with having your own name as a business name.
Yeah.
To be honest, you're more likely to find competition, I suppose, in that kind of way. Especially if you have got a common name.
Yeah.
Some people, when they start off, they're more often than not one-man band, one-woman band kind of setups. And if for example, they start off with all good intentions of running the business on their own, and again, going back to Mary's Mugs as an example, it might start off fine, and then a year or two down the line, they decide that they want to expand, but then become a little bit concerned that Mary's Mugs might sound a little bit kind of small fry, and they've got big plans. You know, they've grown massively in size. The business has expanded hugely. There's maybe even a couple more directors come on board, and then the other director says, "I'm not too keen on being called Mary's Mugs. I'd like to change this," etc., etc. So having a name which is very much associated with your own name can cause some problems down the line. So it's just something to think about. If you're 100% sure that you're never ever going to change the name.
If the business is only ever going to be just you and you've got no plans to grow a team. Not that you've not got ambitions, but just that if you're thinking, well, I know it's only ever going to be me, I don't want it to be more, and that's why you've started a business, is just to be for yourself. Yeah. Then absolutely. There's a cause there for saying just be my name. Yeah. It's fine.
Again, this is something which is a lot further down the line, but also as well something to consider. In a few years' time, if you did decide to sell the business, then someone might be a little less reluctant to buy a business under more of a personalised name, because then they have to go through the whole process, if they wanted to, obviously, of rebranding. Explaining to everyone, okay, this is with the new owners, we don't like Mary anymore, so now we're going to become Mark's Mugs.
Mary. She's been sent back.
Well, she did set the business.
She just started a business.
Yeah, well, she did really well to sell it in the first few years, so she's made a load of money, so she's quite happy. But from the new business owner's point of view, they've got to obviously stick with that business name for a while, which they might not like, or
but by the same token, a good business name is an asset to your business, isn't it? So if you've had 20 years trading under a good business name, then when you sell it, a lot of people know that name by reputation or the fact that you've built up a good customer base. Yeah. So that name then itself becomes a good asset, and it adds value to your business. Yeah. As well as
McDonald's.
Like McDonald's, and if for some reason Mr. McDonald wanted to sell his business, you might start with a farm, I don't know. But at some point, if your business wants to be sold on, or you see it a lot with solicitors, don't you? When they become like the partner's name,
that's true,
gets added in and then it goes through a whole rebranding process and stuff. Yeah,
true.
Yeah. What are the big mistakes that people make when naming their business? Then
big mistakes.
Yeah. What do you think? Do people try and be too clever sometimes? What are some of the mistakes we see when people come into us and they say, "Oh, I've started this business name, and what do you think of this?" And sometimes we have to go, "Yeah."
Well, one of the common ones we get are words that are too vague. When they say it to us first time, we either mishear it, or we're still looking at them like, "What? I haven't a clue what you just said, or what that means, or anything like that." So it needs to be a word which we can spell, we can hear and understand, and also as well, it just makes sense. Really, we have had people suggest names that are foreign languages and Latin.
Yeah, Latin comes up quite a lot actually as a business name because it
sounds good.
It sounds like super intelligent to have a Latin word in your.
It sounds like a nice wine.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but the downside with that is when you say that to someone, more often than not, people will look at you like, sorry, I didn't
like
quite
a dog
hear
watching
that.
a magic trick. What is that? Yeah, that's one of the things is you kind of need to road test your choice of names and
100%.
just test it out on not necessarily family and friends, because the mum test will always everybody will say, oh, I love that, I love that, that's amazing, you're so clever, well done. And if you have to explain it to people, then it's not going to be very memorable. Also, trying to be too clever.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be too cute and clever with your name, that can stop it being memorable because it can be a bit too fussy, I suppose, sometimes. Yeah. Or adding extra characters on, like Fiverr. Fiverr has got 2 R's on the end, hasn't it?
Yeah, but to be honest, people are finding it really difficult to come up with names that have not been
as
taken.
A domain name that haven't been taken. Yeah, certainly.
So it's obviously a common thing to do. Add on a few more characters.
Yes.
Spell it in a slightly different way, but it still means the same word. Yeah. Fiverr is a perfect example of that. And we actually did the same when we was doing the Rocket business name.
Yeah.
One of those was instead of spelling rock with a CK, just taking away the C and just having the K. So ROK.
I don't remember approving that.
No, we didn't approve it, but it was one of those.
That was the one that went on the scrap.
Yeah, one of those things. And part of it kind of felt like we was trying to be a bit too cool and a bit too hip.
A bit too down with the kids.
Yeah, and in all honesty, it didn't look quite right. But no, there's loads of business out there who have replaced certain characters for other characters. It works, and some not so.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think is a good business name. Just slightly sidetracking us a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think one of the cleverest business names is Gusto. Because it's
what's that?
Yeah, Gusto. It's the food place, food subscription service.
Who it is, but why?
So because Gusto, like if you do something, you do it with gusto, don't you? And it means
gusto.
Gusto. Is that not what it means? Have I completely misunderstood that?
Gusto. Yeah, you could do gusto.
Yeah. But it also kind of suggests gourmet and
Usto.
Toes. No. Gourmet gusto. You do something with gusto. Is that not what it is?
I think
like to go gusto. All in gusto.
Yeah, gusto.
Yeah,
I think
but it's like gastro as well, which is obviously a food term.
Yeah,
and I've forgotten what it's called, like gusto. Gusto, but it sounds quite exotic and not, sort of Frenchy. Frenchy.
Okay.
Yeah. If Gusto needed a rebrand, then please do get in touch.
Yeah, I think they'll be around here in the morning.
Yeah.
With that little.
So yeah, hit me with
statement.
some other good business names. Who do you think's got a good business name? Obviously, there's all like the one word.
One word names
like Gusto
are so lucky and so rare nowadays. To be fair, because I imagine most of the one word names have already gone, which is why people are having to add additional characters and letters, numbers, other things into the name just to make it as unique as possible, because they're just not, there's none left. There's too many people, too many businesses, and not enough words. So that's why they're having to mix characters up, mix words up.
I quite like business names that would have been a longer word, but they've kind of snipped it down into either an acronym or a shortened version. So like Tesco's, for example. Did you know Tesco's was the initials of the chap who founded Tesco's, I think was called, Thomas Edward Stockwell. I do know because I looked it up before I did do some research, believe it or not, for this.
I'm glad you did some planning.
Yeah, so Tesco's was founded by Thomas Edward Stockwell, so TES, and his mate Jack Cohen. So
they left out the J bit.
Yeah, So Test
obviously didn't fit in.
Tesco would have just sounded a bit stupid. So obviously they just went with his surname.
Okay.
Thomas S. Edward Stockwell.
Oh, no, I can see you've written that down.
I've written that down,
well done on the notes I haven't read.
Yeah, and Jack Coham.
Yeah, well done.
And also ASDA, because other supermarkets are available. ASDA was Associated Dairies. So they took the ass and the dare, and they made ASDA. ASDA.
Well, Maggie.
Yeah.
If I hadn't seen it written down here, I would have been absolutely amazed.
Yeah.
By your knowledge.
Yeah. So, any business names you like, or you think?
Well, I've got a few here.
Come on. These are not ones I've written down.
Yeah. No. Apple.
Apple.
I'm a massive Apple fan, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm keen on bananas, but I prefer apples. But
do you think how different the world would be if they had called their company Bananas? Got the new banana phone. And we know why Amazon is called Amazon, don't we? That's
because they do everything from A to Z.
Everything from A.
And if you look at the logo,
to Z,
most people aren't aware of this, but very simple. If you look at the logo, the little smile underneath goes from the A to Z.
It's an arrow, isn't it? Like, even though it looks like a smile, it's an arrow going from the A right through to Z, because they do everything from A to Z.
Yeah. I wonder what they do in the Z category.
Zebras?
Zoo animals. I was going to say xylophones, but that begins with an X.
An X.
Yeah. What do they do with xylophones? Yeah, they must do.
Of course they do. They sell everything. Yeah, that's why Amazon works. That's where Amazon started. When I heard this recently, that Jeff Bezos was on a treadmill working out in the gym, as he was, before he was big and famous and nobody really knew who he was. And the guy in the treadmill next to him said, "Hey, what do you do?" And Jeff Bezos says, "Oh, I run an online bookstore called Amazon." And the guy on the treadmill says, "Oh, I think I've bought a book from you guys." He said, "Great with that." And Jeff Bezos said to him, "One day you're going to be able to buy everything on my website." And the other guy walked away thinking, he is a lunatic. You're not going to be able to buy everything online. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And now literally everything is.
Although you say that, I tried to buy some banana patterned pajamas a few weeks back.
A banana pad?
A banana patterned pajama set. Couldn't find them anywhere.
Moving on swiftly.
Thanks.
A little insight into something there.
Right.
So how will our lovely people now who've decided they've gone through all the do's and the don'ts, how do people generate a business name? What steps do they need to go through? You need to think about words associated with your business and what you're offering. That's a consideration as well, isn't it? To think about if you're offering mugs or not mugs or merchandise, more than just mugs, more than Mary's mugs, perhaps. Or if you do offer banana print pajamas. That's kind of rhymes, that. Banana print pajamas. Yeah. I suppose you have to consider also what people will search for. So what are people going to Google or Bing or voice search for?
Although, from a search point of view, most people, unless they know the name of the company they're searching for, won't actually search for the name. Unless you're one of the big companies, like if you know you're
looking for an Apple Macintosh.
Yes, you're obviously going to go.
Yeah. Or you want to find the nearest McDonald's.
Exactly. But yes, when you register a name, of course, it can help with words that relate to the business you do in your name. But your actual name, if it was like a personal name, for example, Taylor's accountancy firm.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not. But if it did, most people won't be looking for Taylor's accountancy firm if they don't know you. They're just looking for an accountant. So,
but what I'm meaning is, if you are an accountant, then you should be, rather than just calling yourself Taylor's, be Taylor's Accountancy Service. Then when people are saying, "I'm looking for an accountancy service near me," well, Taylor's Accountancy Service is 2/3 of the way there. Other things you could do to generate a business name is use an anagram of your name, which could be quite fun to mix up. But again, make sure it doesn't make something rude.
No, anagrams. Remind me.
Anagrams. When you jumble everything up. So
yes, there's the jumbled one.
Or you mix up like I think one of the considerations we had for Rocket Business was combining our two names.
Yeah.
Mar being Mark and Maggie and Mama. It was just a bit too.
Mama. Yeah, that sounds a bit more. Magma.
Magma, that was one of them, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Yeah, Magma.
Magma.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Magma?
Yeah.
That would just...
It's got potential.
Magma Accounting Services would be quite fun. It's quite different.
Especially if you're pretty hot at numbers.
Yeah, that's your tagline. Made up right there. So if you're starting an accounting company...
with numbers.
Yeah, Magma Accounting Services.
Yeah. We're hot with numbers.
We're hot with numbers.
Yeah. Desperately trying to think of something else witty.
We're set in stone. Well, we're not set in stone, I suppose.
You will be eventually. Yeah. Our prices will be set in stone.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Easy peasy, isn't it? Okay, so you've got your name thought. Now you've thought of your name.
Yeah.
What do you do with this name now when you're going to call yourself Magma Accounting Services? How do you check nobody else? It's called Magma Accounting Service.
Google search would be the first place I would look. So simply just type in the name that you think you would like to call yourself and see what comes up. If nothing comes up, for one, you are very lucky. There will obviously be certain results there, but if there's no business that is at all related to the name you've chosen or any potential competitors and things like that, then that's a good sign.
Yeah.
We have had people come to us and they've chosen a name. So we've done a quick search for them and we've actually found the same name in the same town.
Yeah.
And even they didn't realise.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a shock to them. So that was the first very important thing is to do a search in your area.
Especially if somebody is a limited company as well.
Yep.
So you can check on Companies House for UK registered businesses of that name. You can do a quick search on there. It doesn't ask you for any details or anything. It's just a very broad search that you can see if there is other people named that.
Yeah.
We'll pop some links in the show notes just to give you some sort of tools where you can check those things. The other thing to check is if the domain name is available.
That I would say is probably one of the most important parts of,
and also one of the most frustrating
of naming your business, because at the end of the day, I'm going to use Mary's Mugs as an example again.
marysmugs.co.uk.
If marysmugs.co.uk is already gone, that is a big problem, because they are going to receive all the business when someone searches for you. So you don't want to, as much as possible, have the same business name as a domain that's already out there, but for a competitor. So do a domain name search. You can obviously have the difference between a .com, a .co.uk. They're the ideal ones you want to go for. If you're UK based, then .co.uk I would always say is the top one to be aiming for. Nothing wrong with a .com. But most people associate .coms with American companies, places in other locations around the world. Or perhaps
just bigger companies.
Yeah, maybe too big. If it is available, though, I would say still get it.
Absolutely.
Because the price of a domain name is relatively cheap. And what it does do is it stops anyone else taking that away from you. So if, for example, marysmugs.co.uk is yours, but you didn't have the .com version.
Yeah. American Mary, she might come along. And also be selling mugs. And American Mary.
Yeah, she will take the .com and she could potentially steal a lot of your business.
marysmugs.com. She just somebody accidentally searching for marysmugs.co.uk, making a bit of a typo or redirecting to the wrong place.
That as well.
And before you know it, you've ordered 100 mugs to come from America rather than down the road.
Yeah. So definitely get the .com version.
And also check on social media if the names are available. Yep. Because again, that's a lot of people do search on Facebook for businesses, as well as having the Instagram handle available. Again, like Mary's Mugs. So that's going to be quite a common term. So you don't want to be called Mary's Mugs 123, because on your marketing material and stuff like that, if you're putting the extension or showing the handle that you want it to be quite neat and tidy and also quite catchy. Yep. So you don't want to be facebook.com/Marysmugs 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 hyphen bish bash bosh.
Bish bash bosh.
I don't know. But sometimes they can put like Facebook, if there's more than one business name, they'll put some crazy extension on the end to identify that being your business, which is fine if you're just using it as a link. But if you are putting on a visual display of what your social media address is on your marketing material. Mm-hmm. What about actually registering the business name then too? If you are a UK-based business and you want to register your business name to make yourself a limited company.
Well, obviously that's something you would speak to an accountant about. You don't have to. You can register your business as a sole trader, limited company yourself if you want to. But obviously, the bigger your business is, then you're naturally going to need some accountants' help and advice. But all limited companies or UK-based limited companies are registered with Companies House.
Yeah,
that's a good place to actually check for business names as well. What you probably will find though is when you go on to Companies House and you do a name check for a particular name, you may well find that someone has got a similar name to yourself, but they've just added on in brackets, for example, SW for Southwest, or extended the name slightly further to give them their own unique version of that name.
And that's absolutely fine to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They can certainly do that. But it's not like you can totally block anyone from having anything similar to yourself. So you will always get businesses that are named similar to you, and that's one way that people get around.
Yeah,
you could do that yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be fair, Mary's Mugs. If someone's already got Mary's Mugs, you could come and put down Mary's Mugs Southwest or Mary's Mugs UK. So there's nothing stopping you do that.
Nope.
And there's no one stopping, a friend down the road coming along and taking away Mary's Mugs Southwest .uk.Europe if they if they really wanted to. So that's all. It was all possible.
Yeah. What about trademarking your name then? If you did want to protect it,
trademarking is a whole different kettle of fish.
Huge kettle of
fish.
It's
we haven't got the time to go through that in much detail here. Yeah. But if you wanted to ever trademark your name, there are a number of rules involved with trademarking. But trademarking is a huge area. You can not only trademark your name, you can trademark your logo, and that's obviously something. excuse me, which people will naturally want to do.
Yeah, I think trademarking is perhaps an episode in itself that we should cover, because there are huge, I wouldn't say pitfalls, that people can fall into if they've done perhaps their own logo design using Canva or even using sort of stock photo sites where they've chosen a logo element that they like.
Yeah, it's unlikely that will be trademarkable.
Yeah, because it's open source, and anybody's got access to it. You can't trademark anything that's used in a sort of public library.
Yeah,
I don't mean the place with the books. I mean sort of an online library with stock images and things. You won't be able to trademark that as a unique logo to your own brand.
No.
And again, if you are branding yourself with those kind of elements, the chances are, and we have seen it in the same town again, where two people with exactly the same logo, very different businesses, have met in the same room.
Yeah, which was a little awkward.
It wasn't so much for us, but it was for them.
No.
Now, we did promise to tell everybody how we named Rocket Business, and I think that would be a good opportunity just to kind of go into how Rocket Business got its name.
Okay.
Where it started from, and how many different options we covered to name Rocket Business.
The way Rocket Business come about, it wasn't called Rocket Business at the time, but
the idea, the concept.
The idea, or the concept. Yeah. I was at home cooking, stood by the...
Setting the scene, very nice.
Stood by the cooker. I can't remember what I was making. I was probably looking for something to cook at the time.
I knew it was chicken Kievs.
A roast, yes.
A roast.
Above, just to the right side of the cooker. Open the cupboard.
You're rummaging in your food cupboard.
I was looking for some inspiration.
Some dinspiration.
Dinspiration, yes. Open the cupboard and out fell a Coleman's sausage casserole mix.
Yeah.
Now, I love sausage casserole. I picked up the packet, and for some reason, the packet seemed different. It was a different sort of texture to it. It was a nice, smooth finish compared to the glossy, plasticky.
Yeah, I think a lot of those kind of, not ready-made, but those packet mixes, I think a lot of them went through a packaging overhaul from being like a foily, plasticky package to being a more recyclable, friendly.
Oh yeah,
paper
it just felt really good. And I remember looking at that and thinking, do you know, that's a really nice packet. Not just because it had a sausage on there, which I'm a massive sausage fan. That is so right. I'm a massive sausage casserole fan. So anyway, I looked at that and then I thought to myself, do you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to package up our skills, our knowledge, our experiences? Yep. So, as you know, I messaged you.
You did.
Told you the story. Yep. And one thing led to another, and here we are. So
that doesn't explain anything.
It doesn't explain
the name.
No, it explains the process, which led us then to say, right, we need to think of a name. What are we going to call this? And we struggled.
Went through a lot of
struggled. And was Project Sausage the first thing, just to get the ball rolling?
No, I think Project Sausage was just kind of our name of talking about it internally and stuff. So
it was a secret squirrel kind of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, some names on the list. Do you want me to fire some of these at you? So we have toolrunnings.com. Tool Runnings, not Cool Runnings, but Tool Runnings, because we are providing tools for you to sort of rock out business. Obviously, that's what we do. 5 digits. 5 digits? I don't know. Yeah, some of these are Nutshell. That was a good Nutshell business. So we're teaching you everything in a nutshell.
Yeah, that was true.
That was a good one, but I think that was probably taken. Drips and Bits.
Drips and Bits?
Drips and Bits, that's on the list. Drips and Bits. One. Left leg in. That's a good one. Left leg in.
What on earth were we must have been drinking at the time.
This one's my personal favourite.
Right.
I think Finger two.
Finger two, yes.
Two. We will teach you a thing or two about business, but not thing. Finger two. Bizoo.com. That was also quite a good one.
I've got the list here.
Yeah. And then I think we went through some of the sillier names, where we've got Planny. Planny was key to, as in with a key to your unlocking a business.
Yeah.
Busy Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, we settled on Rocket Business just because it's a cool name. We think we both kind of an slightly older generation. And yeah, we just think being able to say we can teach people to rocket business with having a rock theme, and it had a lot of sort of scope for other areas of branding, such as the Rockstar packages that we offer as part of Rocket Business, and also the Rockstar program, the community group where we have all the Rockstars in there.
The thing I liked about Rocket Business was it didn't sound too businessy.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a bit stupid with business on the end, but obviously it needed a connection with business, because obviously that's what we do. Mm-hmm. But the rock element was almost a kind to not rough it up or dirty it up as such, but more just to make it a little bit more appealing, a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more us.
Yeah.
Because we are professional, believe it or not. But we didn't want to come across with that image of being pristine and suited and high-flying business and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there are agencies that can help you do ultimately what we're doing, but they're either government-backed or they're a UK-wide organisation, like the Federation of Small Business. That sounds quite structured and quite very professional, but are they going to be able to offer the personal approach, which is very much what we want to be doing, is being a lot more personable. So we wanted it to be more open, more casual, and more appealing to a wider audience without it being gender specific as well. I think that was quite a thing for us, wasn't it, to be for it to be known for being something associated with business, but also a bit of fun and a bit
Well,
being able to let your hair down as well.
You know, as part of the main business, we meet a lot of people. We worked with a wide variety of people, of characters, and business ideas and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a name which, in a kind of way, almost was a kind of, what was it like? I'm trying to think of the phrase. A cry to, a rallying cry kind of thing. Yeah, we're really good. We rock a business.
We rock a business.
Yeah, that was the thing. And yeah, I'm rocking a business today. That kind of things where it had that kind of nice connection, which I just sort of felt, again, wasn't too serious. We take everything we do very seriously, and people's businesses seriously, and
everybody that we work with gets a positive pat on the back because they're all rocking a business. And that's exactly what we wanted to be able to say to people. You are rocking a business. Yeah,
it had a number of positives, and I think as soon as we heard the name, both of us pretty much fell in love with the name straight away. Yeah. It was like, yes, I can see that. Mm-hmm. And as you say, there's loads of little word phrases and references and connections. Yeah,
we have
can make.
We're rock steady. The packages that we offer, there's rock steady, rock solid, ready to rock, and forgive me, I can't remember the
rock and roll.
No, I don't think it's rock and roll. That's a good one. We could use that.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's get going.
Yeah, there's a whole load of connections we can do there. So, but yes,
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. That's been great. I've loved listening to exploring myself names again. It's been great fun. So if you are stuck naming your business, or you need help, please do reach out to us. We are very accessible on social media. We love brainstorming with new businesses, and you can book a free power hour with ourselves to discuss naming your business. If you wanted to, then please do. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Okay. We'd love it if you could subscribe, follow to make sure you never miss an episode. And why not join us over in the Rocket Business community or on Facebook, where business owners like you can connect, ask questions, and get real practical advice to help you move forward. Check out rocketbusiness.com, where you'll find the Rockstar program packed with resources to help you grow and scale your business. Plus, there's heaps of free tools and guides, as well as details on how to join our free online community of like-minded entrepreneurs. Until next time, keep rocking your business.